The rain tasted like ash and regret. It clung to the collar of my trench coat, a constant, damp reminder of the night's events. I stood on the rooftop of the majestic theatre, the city sprawling beneath me like a diseased beast. Below, the neon glow of Marlowe's bar pulsed, a beacon in the urban gloom, and Jack Rourke, private investigator, and I was staring at a dead man. The body lay sprawled on the alley floor, illuminated by a single flickering streetlight. Arthur Finch, a name that tasted like expensive scotch and dirty secrets. He was a collector, a man who acquired things others discarded, paintings, antiques, and, apparently, enemies. He's been found with a single gunshot wound to the chest, the pearl-handled revolver lying a few feet away, a theatrical flourish and a grim tableau. Clean, isn't it? Sergeant Miller's voice cut through the rain. He was a mountain of a man, his face perpetually etched with weary cynicism. He's been a friend and occasional obstacle in my career, the kind of cop who believed in rules, even when they were bent. Too clean, I replied, my gaze sweeping the alley. No signs of a struggle, no footprints beyond the obvious. Just a dead man and a carefully placed weapon. Staged. Miller grunted. Mr. Finch had a lot of people who'd wag him silence. Business rivals, disgruntled art dealers, a jilted mistress or two, maybe. The list goes on. Maybe. Or maybe it's someone closer to home. Someone who knew how to make it look like a robbery gone wrong. I knelt beside the body, careful not to disturb anything. Finch's pockets were empty, his wallet missing. Classic misdirection. The case landed on my desk courtesy of Elena Finch, Arthur's widow. A woman who could have been a movie star, all glacial beauty and brittle elegance. She hired me to find out who killed her husband, offering a sum large enough to make even a hardened cynic like myself consider the possibility of a life less precarious. He was a good man, Mr. Rourke, she said, her voice barely a whisper. I didn't believe her for a second. Good men don't collect secrets. My investigation started at Finch's opulent apartment overlooking Central Park. The place was a museum of ill-gotten gains, a grimoire hanging crookedly above the fireplace, a jade statue glinting in the dim light, a collection of antique clocks ticking with an unnerving precision. It screamed of a man who spent a lifetime accumulating things he didn't deserve. The apartment staff offered little help, each one carefully guarding their words, their loyalty bought and paid for. The only person who seemed genuinely distraught was Finch's young secretary, a nervous girl named Clara Bellwether. Mr. Finch was a mentor to me, she stammered, her eyes darting around the room. He believed in me. He gave me a chance. I sensed she was holding something back. I pressed her gently, offering a promise of discretion. Finally, she cried. He was working on something big, she whispered, her voice trembling. A deal. Something about a lost painting. The Serpent's Kiss, they called it. He said it was worth a fortune. The Serpent's Kiss. I'd heard whispers of it. A legendary painting, rumored to have vanished during the war, its whereabouts unknown. If Finch had found it, it would indeed be worth a fortune. It would also make a lot of people very dangerous. My investigation led me down a rabbit hole of art dealers, black market contacts, and shadowy figures lurking in the city's underbelly. Each clue seemed to point in a different direction, complicating the picture further. I met with a shifty art broker named Sal DeMarco, who claimed to have known Finch but denied any involvement in his death. Arthur was a sharp Rourke, he said, lighting a cigar. He swam with the worst of them. He made enemies. Plenty of them. Then there was Veronica Thorne, a stunningly beautiful socialite, with a reputation for being ruthless. She was a known associate of Finch, and their relationship was reportedly complicated. Arthur was a fascinating man, she purred, her eyes glittering. He appreciated beauty, in all its forms. As I delved deeper into the case, I realized I was walking into a viper's nest. The people I was dealing with weren't just criminals, they were masters of deception, skilled at manipulating people to get what they wanted. The breakthrough came unexpectedly. I was reviewing Finch's financial records when I noticed a series of payments to a private security firm, Phoenix Security. I visited the firm's headquarters, a sterile, impersonal office building on the outskirts of the city. The owner, a cold-eyed man named Victor Mortal, claimed to have done a routine security assessment for Finch but denied any involvement in his death. We're professionals, Mr. Rourke. We don't do dirty work. But I noticed something he didn't. A faint scratch on his hand, barely visible beneath his expensive suit. A scratch consistent with a struggle. I confronted Mortal, showing him the photo of his injured hand. He finally confessed. Finch had hired him to find the Serpent's Kiss, not to protect him. He was supposed to retrieve it and deliver it to a client. A client Mortal refused to name. Mortal had found the painting, hidden in a vault beneath an abandoned warehouse. He's been double-crossed by someone even more powerful than himself. He's supposed to hand over the painting and get paid, but instead he found Finch waiting for him, dead. Who was the client? Mortal. I pressed him. He hesitated, then whispered a name: Isabella Moreau. Isabella Moreau. The name sent a chill down my spine. She was a ghost, a legend in the criminal underworld, a woman with a reputation for being as beautiful as she was deadly. I tracked Moreau to a lavish penthouse overlooking the harbor. As I approached the door, I could hear music and laughter spilling into the hallway. I knocked, and a stone-faced butler answered. "Miss Moreau is expecting you, Mr. Rourke," he said, and led me inside. The penthouse was a masterpiece of opulent design. A grand piano stood in the corner, where a trio of musicians played a jazzy tune. Moreau sat on a velvet chaise lounge, sipping champagne and surveying the scene with an air of bored amusement. "Mr. Rourke, it's so good of you to join us," she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "I'm sure you're here about Arthur's unfortunate demise." "You hired Finch to find the Serpent's kiss," I stated, ignoring her flippant tone. Moreau smiled, a predatory gleam in her eyes. "Arthur was a skilled negotiator. A necessary evil, perhaps. The painting is exquisite, a valuable addition to my collection." "And you had Finch killed because he wasn't going to hand over the painting," I accused her. Moreau shrugged. Arthur was becoming inconvenient. He knew too much. Suddenly, a lights went out. Chaos erupted. Gunfire shattered the silence. I dove for cover, narrowly avoiding a hail of bullets. When the lights flickered back on, Moreau was gone. I stood in the wreckage, the scent of gunpowder heavy in the air. The painting, the Serpent's kiss, was nowhere to be seen. I knew Moreau wouldn't disappear completely. She had too many resources, too many connections. As I left the penthouse, the rain started again, washing away the blood and the debris. I looked out at the city, a labyrinth of shadows and secrets. The case was closed, but I knew the story wasn't over. Isabella Moreau was still out there, and the Serpent's kiss remained lost in the darkness. And I, Jack Rourke, would be waiting,